Hello and welcome to this video about my knitting ambitions for 2023. I just thought I'd check in with you and go through what's on my mind for the coming year. Happy New Year's! Maybe I upload this in late January, so maybe you have already celebrated and you are well into the new year. I hope you are on your way working on your knitting plans for the coming year. I love a good, fresh, new start. So I'm excited to just reflect a little bit about what I want to knit in the future, what do I want to spend my time on. To be honest, we spend a lot of time knitting and it takes a lot of time to finish our projects. So I think it's good to really sit down and make sure that you are putting that time into something that you that gets you the results that you want. I think a lot of the time maybe we're knitting stuff that we don't actually enjoy wearing or enjoy making even, and then to me, what's the point of knitting at all? So definitely recommend doing a little bit of reflection, which I have done, and I've come up with 4 areas, I guess, that I want to spend more time on. So I'm gonna go through them. We're also gonna have a look. I'm actually gonna sit on this side because I'm gonna put my phone screen recording here to show you some stuff that I have, some images that I have saved on my Instagram account to show you what's on my mind, what's my inspiration right now. And like I said, I have 4 different categories that I want to focus more on the coming year. I'm also going to show you some yarn from my yarn basket here, and just show you my ideas for those yarns. So I'm gonna be looking down on my phone a lot because I am talking while I'm looking at the images that hopefully you will be seeing right next to me. So let's just dive straight in. So the first thing that's really been on my mind is jackets, so knitted jackets, and that's something I've seen a little bit in my Instagram feed, and with jackets I mean sturdy cardigans, cardigans with maybe a thicker fabric. They might be a bit more oversized, or yeah, that's a necessity I think for a jacket because you need to fit stuff underneath, so a bit more roomy, maybe longer, or I'm curious both on short, a bit more cropped bomber jacket style, but also a longer jacket, like a coat. Obviously it feels like that would take ages to knit, but yeah, I'm gonna show you some of my inspirations. So this is where I save my Instagram posts that I find inspiring, and I have one collection of cardigans / jackets. And let me first show you the jacket that I completely fell in love with. Now this is not the designer, I don't think I have her version saved in here, but this is one knitter that I think tested the design for her. So it's called Nomad jacket. Yeah, it says here in Swedish that she test knitted this, and she used the yarn Campes, tvåtrådiga, I suppose, or I'm not sure exactly. She used Campes, it just says, and 800 grams, which is quite a lot. And this is another version. Let me see. She also used 800 grams in size small, in Swedish wool from Järbogarn, which is also what the actual pattern used. And, or like, this is also what the actual designer used when she knit her version. And it's so nice. This back panel here, I'm gonna zoom a little bit. Like, obviously you knit this vertically, no, horizontally, and I guess you pick up stitches to keep knitting the back in like a very nice, it's not really like a honeycomb stitch, but it reminds me of that. If anyone knows what this stitch is called, let me know. I think it's really nice for a jacket. And here you can see also the upper back part. And this I-cord edges around every section of the jacket is stunning. I definitely have fallen in love with I-cord edges, which is something I've not liked at all before. But now I just can't stop thinking about it, and I want to make... It would be nice to have a jacket as well, like sort of like this cardigan, where you have the I-cord for the like the bottom band. It just gives a really jackety feeling. I don't know, that's not a word, but I think you get what I mean. So this one is definitely high on my list. I'm also thinking of a jacket called Miles jacket, the Miles shirt jacket actually, which is also very much a jackety cardigan. Like it's super, it looks very thick and dense, oversized and very long. And for this jacket it also has pockets. I didn't mention that for the Nomad jacket, but I definitely like the pockets and the thick collar. It looks double folded and very thick. And I also like the really big buttons as well, which also gives it more of a jackety feeling. We're gonna use that word now, jackety feeling, as opposed to cardigans with smaller, more neat buttons, I suppose. And this looks to be like some kind of drop shoulder construction. I have another version here in a brown, nice brown color. Yeah, absolutely love this. So yeah, something like this. I think you get an idea of the style that I'd like to go for. But I'm also like, I could actually see myself doing this kind of, I mean, this is a cardigan, but I still get the jacket vibe from this, especially if I would knit it in a thicker gauge. So this is the Marum knitted bomber. Let me go into the hashtag and have a little look. So here you can see some more versions. I think this would be really cool in a thick yarn. Here you can see like, yeah, definitely a nice vibe. I could definitely see this working as a jacket, like in the spring or early autumn. I also like the idea of the feeling of a jacket, but on a garment that's not actually a jacket. So take this vest, for instance. This is the Balan sweater, and a heavily modified version, I think. So this is originally, I think, it has long sleeves, but she has cropped it, and the fabric looks really dense. I'm not sure exactly what yarns she used, but it looks very dense, and the stitch definition is really great, even though she has this like marled yarn, not really marled, but yeah, you can see it's a bit speckled almost. So it looks like a outdoors garment to me, but still in the best shape. So that's something I've been eyeing a little bit. And here's also a nice jacket, formation jacket. It says here that it's a test knit, but this was 2020, so I suppose that it's ready. Yeah, here you can see some more versions. Also very nice pattern. Yeah, and I have a yarn that I think would work really nice. It's this yarn. However, it's quite thin. So this is Dansk Pelsull in a beautiful gray color. Like, it's not super dark, it's not super light, it's just perfectly in the middle. But it's quite thin. This is 100-gram skein, and it's 400 meters. So fingering, almost light fingering weight. And to make a jacket with fingering weight yarn, I think that's a bit too much even for me. Especially those longer versions that I showed you. So maybe this will, in that case, have to be a shorter jacket. But I don't know, to get that feeling of a jacket, you need it to be... Like, I can't knit this with 3mm needles and just say it's a jacket. Like, it needs to be a bit more bulky. So maybe this yarn actually isn't the best for that project. But I like this color and I like this feel. Like, it's a very woolly yarn. Is 100% wool. And yeah, just to get an idea. I don't have anything more suitable for a jacket. Obviously, if I were to buy yarn for a long, thick jacket, that would be a big purchase because I would need a lot of yarn. So I'll have to do some more thinking before I do that. Uno momento, uno momento. So next I want to talk about colors. That's the other area I really want to focus on. Colors. And that includes color work knitting, but also like stripes, and intarsia is something I've never tried but would really like to try. So all types of colors really. I want to knit more crazy color combinations. Not crazy, but like, I don't know, I see a lot of neutrals being knitted, like beige and grey, and I mean, that's nice, I like that, but I want to also knit like a bit more rebellious pieces. So I want to play around with colors a bit more. Let me show you what I have saved, just to give you some ideas. So I have actually one collection on Instagram that's called Colors. So here I save images that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with knitting, but they are still colorful, or they have something that inspires me color-wise. So it can be sewing, it can be knitting as well, but the focus of the picture is, for me, the color combination rather than the actual piece that is knitted. It can also be like interior design, so like a picture of a painting together with the wall color, or like this just is a really nice combination of blue colors and gold and brown, which is a combination I love. Like different shades of pink, really, really beautiful. Like this can be, like this is such a inspiration to me, and my knitting, just colors. So for instance, I remember I lived 2 months in Indonesia, and I wrote my bachelor's thesis there, so I got a scholarship to do that. In the city I was living, I went to visit, they have a really large mosque there. I'll see if I can find some pictures of it and then I'll upload them here. Just speaking of the brown, gold, blue color combination, like I have that image, or like that mosque visit in my memory, and I think about it a lot because the colors were so nice, and I would really like to knit something that's reminiscent of those colors and the architecture of that building. It was absolutely stunning, but I haven't gotten around to it yet because I'm not sure what exactly that would be. I thought about a sock, but I don't know. Anyway, going back to the subject, I also saved like just different patterns, not knitting patterns, but any type of pattern. Like I said, sewing projects with fun colors. So yeah, maybe this will give you an idea of my preferred color palette, and like, yeah, different shades of brown is something I'm also very into right now. So from this I would like to knit fun pieces. I also, of course, save pictures of, for example, sweaters that I get attached to, and in there, of course, there are a lot of color inspiration as well. So like a striped sweater here, and yeah, just can be anything really. And so that's something I definitely want to incorporate more into my knitting. And one thing that I've been thinking about is using this yarn. I've had this yarn in my stash for ages. This is, it's hard to show the color, but it's like a burgundy red. It's Campes tvåtrådiga, so fingering weight wool. And I haven't, because I'm not a big fan of burgundy right now. I have been before, and I probably will like it again in the future. But I thought I could make this a little bit more fun. So not just an all burgundy sweater, but maybe some other color to mix it with. And I think burgundy looks really nice together with this kind of light blue color. Oh, it's a little bit dark. Oh, I hope you can see. I think they would look really cool together, maybe with some kind of stripes, or actually I'm gonna show you what I had in mind. So this is a blanket that is store-bought, so it's not knitted. It's a woolly, really woolly blanket. Actually, that's not the side I wanted to show, but this side. So it's got this really nice little, it's striped, but also with these nice little bumps within the stripes. And that was sort of inspiring to me, so maybe I could do something similar with these yarns for a sweater. Maybe. Or actually, like also these colors, so incorporate the yellow as well. I think that would be very fun. So I would just like to actually use this yarn for something, because I've had it in my stash for so long, and I don't want it to, I don't want to waste it, or like just keep it there for several years. So it would be nice to use it for something. And I'm also, speaking of colors, I'd like to mention a book that I got from my mother, or she had bought it for herself, and I wanted to have a look at it. So she gave me this to have a look, and it's called Hönsestrick Forever. It's a Swedish book, and the term Hönsestrick is, well, it sounds Norwegian actually, but you can see on the pictures here, you kind of get the idea of what it is. So super playful, almost like rebellious knitting, where you add these, you play around with different color work charts and different colors, and you can knit basically any kind of garment, and like in the end, I'll show you just really quick, but she has all these like charts that you can choose from, play around with, and in the book there are also some actual patterns, so like a mitten pattern where I can pick and choose from the charts and make my own hönsestrick mitten. And mittens is actually a really nice project to play around with colors because it's so small, so it doesn't matter if it looks ugly. It's just a small project, and it's easier to match with anything, like a sweater looking like this mitten, for example. I don't know, maybe that's something I would wear for like a bit more festive occasion, or I don't know, maybe not like every day to work kind of thing. But a mitten is very easy to dress down, I guess, with like just a regular coat or something, so a mitten can be more crazy, at least for me and my style, I suppose. So I'm very excited to try something out from this book. A cardigan would be so fun to knit as well. Maybe, I think baby knits are actually very suitable for hönsestrick, because again it's very small projects, and a child is more, I don't know, it feels like it fits a child's wardrobe better than a grown-up. So maybe I'll start out with some baby knits, just to play around with something simple. Yeah, we'll see. So the third area that I want to focus on 2023 is undyed wool, and actually I'm gonna pair this with the fourth area that I want to focus on, which is Swedish wool. I think they go sort of hand in hand. So with undyed wool, I mean wool that is the same color as the sheep. So it's not undyed in the sense that I only want to knit with white wool, but I want to knit more with like naturally colored wool. So for example, the yarn I showed you before, this Danish yarn, it's undyed. So essentially, I guess what they do is when you have sheep with different kinds of shade, when you collect the wool after you have shaved the sheep, you collect all the grays in one pile and the whites in one pile and the blacks in one pile. And that's how you get even colors, even though the sheep can have all different kinds of colors in their actual wool. So that's something I definitely want to try out, and I have started saving some Swedish wool brands that I'm eager to try out. Yarns and Barns is one brand that I have had my eyes on for a while, and Ullcentrum Öland is also one of those like bigger yarn suppliers out there that I would like to try. And I found this cardigan just a few days ago that is knitted in a yarn from Gotland Spinneri, which I haven't heard of, but it looks stunning knitted up like this. So very excited to check that out. And yeah, the thing is with these yarns, of course, is that they are expensive. So if I'm gonna buy this, I want it to be intentional, so that I actually have a project in mind, and I don't just buy it for the sake of it, because that could very easily be me spending a lot of money on this and not getting use of it. So I want it to be an intentional purchase. So I haven't saved that many projects that actually knit, that are actually knitted with like undyed, naturally dyed wool. So if you have any recommendations, or like someone you know on Instagram or Ravelry that knits a lot with that kind of wool, let me know, because I would love to get some inspiration. Because when you knit with that kind of yarn, you really want, I don't know, you want the right project for that yarn to shine. It's hard to explain, but I definitely need some more inspiration in that area. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you got some inspiration. I'm definitely feeling inspired for the coming year, and we'll see, I guess, a year from now if I actually manage to be true to my ambitions. But even if I didn't, it's okay. You know, knitting is for fun, and that's the beauty of it. Like, if we change our mind, or if we suddenly think something else is pretty, then we can just simply switch direction, because we have the control to do that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.